Hello guys and welcome back to Elysian the Great. How are you? I am trusting you're good. So today to I want us to write some kind of composition or draw some kind of mental image on the beauty of being a woman, the process of becoming a woman. And I want us to draw this story from a creative perspective of the African setting, not the modern African setting, but let's put it like between the 1960s and the 1990s, maybe 1980s. So let's think of being especially an African woman and the journey and see the beauty of actually being a woman. So imagine a setting where a woman has three sons, and in the African society, all the household chores are meant for the woman. So she's the one who takes care of her three sons and her husband. So you can imagine she barely has time to herself. So this kind of a woman will spend a lot of time praying and asking God for a daughter. So she asks God for a daughter, and even her own husband, she goes and asks him, like, my husband, kindly give me a daughter who can help me with the house chores. Because imagine an African, traditional African setting where the woman has to be the one cooking, cleaning the compound, fetching firewood, fetching water, because the children will go to school, and if they go to school, these are the responsibilities of the mother. And imagine being married to a traditional African man who even believes that simple chores such as fetching water and getting firewood should not be done much by the sons. The sons can do it, but they're not part of the sons' responsibilities because those are what we call women jobs. Can you see the picture? So let's draw it together. So this woman has been asking the husband for a daughter, and eventually, because God is faithful, the universe is kind, Mother Nature is awesome, she's expectant and she gets a daughter. So when she is asking for a daughter, before she gets the daughter, her main purpose for the daughter is not even to like educate her or make her like a leader or anything. When she is thinking of a daughter, she's thinking mainly in one direction, the direction of, if she has a daughter, she has a helper, and with a helper she can run the household a little bit easier. So when she gets the daughter, this daughter is a joy to the father. You know how daughters and their fathers are. And she's a helper to the mother. And she also brings some sort of gentleness to the brothers who play with her, who fetch water and bring firewood to her. But it is her responsibility as part of helping her mother to cook the food, to clean the house, to keep the compound tidy. So she is a mini mother, and she does all this with a smile on her face because it is society. It has stated it. Okay, now we're talking between 1960s, 1980s, actually early 1990s. So it is the responsibility of the daughter of a woman to take care of the compound and all that. I have a little friend over here. That's shade. So she does all this, and at the same time, she is going to join school. So she will go to school, and when she's out of school, she will come, she will clean her uniform, and she'll clean the house, and she'll help in cooking. my, my kitten wants to play. It doesn't understand I'm making a video. I'm moving it. So she has her personal responsibilities, but she also has a responsibility towards her mother because she is the helper to the mother, and she has a responsibility towards her household, that is cooking, cleaning, tidying up, and her personal responsibility of being in school. So she's at school, and one day the teacher asks her, what would you want to become? What would she want to become when she grows up? And interestingly enough, she likes putting some creativity into her clothing, and she likes redesigning her clothes. She takes up her mother's old clothes and she resizes them like a tailor, and put some bit of twist and taste into them and make something really nice out of them. So she thinks to herself and she's like, when I'm all grown, I want to become a fashion designer. She takes time. When she has done her chores, she sits under the tree in the compound, and she I'm playing the shade, and she cannot stop fantasizing and daydreaming about the days of being a fashion designer. When she gets her hands on magazines, she's there cutting, making the cuttings of the fashionable girls, and she really, really wants to grow up and become a fashion designer. But then, in the course of daydreaming, she remembers there's no supper. So she dashes off, goes make supper, and life goes on. Wake up in the morning, go to school, come back home, be a girl, help with household chores. Is the life of this girl. When she's eventually, her brothers move out, they're off to college, and one of them is actually married. So there's an extra pair of hands in the compound to help her with the chores, the sister in law, the daughter in law of the house. And now she too is about to finish school and she's super excited. She eventually gets a job. She's worked for a couple of years, some 2, 3 years, and then her parents come with a proposal from a family, and they're like, "Do you know the son of so and so? He just came back from abroad and he's looking for a wife, and I think that you two would be a good match. She has always been a good daughter, and this looks like a good opportunity." So she goes and meets the guy, and she likes the guy, and as part of her responsibility to her household, it's time for marriage, and so she takes up the role of being a wife. She came to the world as a prayer for a helper. She has been a daughter. She has been the apple of her father's eye. She has been a sister. She has been a helper. And now that she's become a career woman, she is embarking on 2 journeys, of 3 actually: being a daughter in law, being a career woman, 4, actually 4, being a soon to be mother, and at the same time being a daughter in law. So she goes and now she begins a whole new journey that sets her career back for a minute because she has to adjust to this new environment. But she's still passionate about her whole designs and everything. So she knows that she has to put the kids to bed early and make sure her husband's clothes are ironed and in place. And then she can go to get her drinks done and work on her fashion designs and hope to create a name for herself. One day, one of her designs are seen by someone, by what do you call this? Are seen by some great person, and this person suggests that she should move to the city because there would be a very good job opportunity for her in the fashion design. She talks to her husband, and initially he's not for the idea, but eventually he considers and he sees that she is a good wife. So he tells her that if you can manage to go to the city, do your work, and be back home by 3 to pick the children and look after the household, then definitely you can take up the job. It's tricky because the town is a distance, it's like 5 kilometers away, and she does not have a mode of transportation, but she is determined to balance it out. So she takes up this new role, and she actually, funnily and weirdly enough, she plays this role and plays it perfectly. So she is now 60 years old, a grandmother, sitting under her tree in a compound and thinking back to the journey that has been. Her name is on renowned magazines. In big fashion houses, she's been there. In media, in all types of media, in the TV, in the newspapers, she's been there. She's had interviews around the world. She's been there. And she remembers the story that her mother told her. When I was praying for a daughter, I was praying for a helper. But now she's not a helper. She's a woman, a great woman who's been able to break the bounds of society, the barriers, the walls. She's become an icon. Society looks up to her. Young girls seek her out for advice. This is a journey of a typical African woman. This is the journey of actually any woman. Society has so many roles that a woman should play, so many hats that she should wear. She's always jabbing them, from the cap to the hat, the beach hat, to the Marvins, to so many hats for a woman to wear. But how she wears them with grace will always be a marvel. So, guys, that was the story time. It's a different kind of story. It's an African story of a woman. And I hope you liked it and hope it motivates you that if that kind of a woman could break the barriers of society, of the things that could have made her just become a typical housewife, become just a typical daughter, not dream and actualize her dreams. It's to remind you, girls out there, that whatever you're dreaming, regardless of corona, regardless of all that's happening around us right now, your dreams are valid. And wherever you want to go, you can go. The choice begins with you and ends with you. Greatness begins from within, and it's not limited to particulars. It's for all of us. It's us to grasp it, own it, and be it. Till next time, this is Elysian the Great. Comment, subscribe, like, and share. Adios, amigas. You're beautiful within and without. Bye bye.